Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Season 14, Episode 5, Overall 720 of Live with CDP Sports Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership. They're located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles, EVs, they call them, and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family-run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969. Good afternoon, everybody, on this Friday, June 12th, 2026. Beautiful day here in Southern Ontario. And I want to say I'm looking forward to my guest today. This is her first appearance on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. Her name is Amelia Canto. She is the Chief Executive Officer with the Niagara SPCA and Humane Society. And we're going to bring her on right now and talk about the latest events and the latest pets that are up for adoption down at the Niagara SPCA and Humane Society. We're going to bring on Amelia Canto right now. Good afternoon, Amelia. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you doing?
I am doing good. I'm a little less stressed now that we got the audio issues figured out. You know what? One thing, Amelia, it doesn't matter how many years you've been doing something in whatever career you are, sometimes you can overlook something. And in this case, I forgot to turn the volume up on my headphones. So this was on me. So I do apologize for that.
No worries, that is just fine. We made it.
How are things in Niagara and how things with the SPCA in your parts?
Always busy, always interesting, and very rewarding.
I was in Niagara Falls last week for your Comic-Con there on the Friday, and that was an amazing
Oh,
experience.
yeah. There's so much to do and see here in Niagara Falls. It's great. And in the whole region, it's amazing.
How many locations do you guys have in the Niagara region? Is it 2 or 3 satellite locations?
Yeah, we actually have 5 altogether, believe it or not. So
5.
we have 3 shelters. So one in Port Colborne, another in Welland, and we also have the shelter in Niagara Falls. But we also have the clinic. So we've had a spay neuter clinic at 706 East Main in Welland since 2012, actually, and we just opened the wellness clinic right beside it in the same location. So we're here, and that's where I'm broadcasting from actually today. And then we also have the cat adoption center at the Seaway Mall, which is a huge success story for us as well.
Now, currently, are you guys looking to build a new facility?
Absolutely. It's been in the works really for some time, for a couple of years. We've had to rework that actually because over the last year, we've noticed that there's some changes that we need to make. So we're going to be undertaking those. And then you'll be hearing a lot more about that probably by the end of this year. But definitely our facilities are aging, in particular our shelters, the one in Welland and in Niagara Falls. But the Niagara Falls campus is a really great site, and we're looking forward to building a new building on the same footprint and just having all kinds of innovative aspects to that. And of course, providing the best care we can for our pets. We'd like to unite our clinic there. Right now, our clinic is here in Welland, but we'd like to have one on site at Niagara Falls as well. So we're very excited about being able to do that for our animals, but we're going to need a lot of help from the community to make that happen.
Now, when this new shelter is built, will you still have satellite locations, or will everything be in one area?
We still will, because right now we are servicing communities from Haldimand County all the way to Niagara Falls. So I'm talking about, Wainfleet, West Lincoln, Port Colborne. I mentioned, I think, Haldimand County. also Welland, Pelham, and Niagara Falls. So we need to have facilities that are close to people so that when they're coming to claim their dogs, if their dogs or cats have gone stray, and we've brought them in, they can claim them closer to home, and also they can come and look for adoptable animals here at these locations too. So it's good to have them in the community. And as I was saying, we service all of those municipalities. We have contracts with the municipalities to provide animal services to them. So that includes wildlife, and it includes our companion animals. It even includes animals like chickens and goats. We've had pigs as well at our facility. So we're responsible for all of that.
Is there approximate how many numbers you have right now in your shelters?
Yes, we have a capacity for about 330 animals total, and we're pretty close to capacity at all of them. We have had a lot of kittens, in particular litters of kittens, come in the last few days. So our count has to be updated and on our spreadsheets. So we're pretty much at 100%.
How many staff members do you have?
We have a total of 18 people who are part-time, and then we have about 6 that are full-time individuals. So we have a number of officers. We have about 6 officers, and the remainder are our animal care staff. And then, of course, we have our managers as well and our staff in the clinic. So that will add another 10 to 15 people. We have about a total of 35 people in all.
Now, do you have a time frame approximately that you'd like to get this new shelter in, and how can companies help getting involved with this?
Oh, yes, there are many ways that a lot of people already are involved, and we're very thankful to them for their involvement. We just had Hydak, our neighbor, for instance, in Welland just the other day, held a barbecue as a fundraiser, and they donated a number of items, toys and snacks and whatnot, to the shelter there in Welland. So we're really grateful to them. But that happens with a lot of the organizations in our area. We're, as I say, really thankful. We're looking for more involvement in terms of actually providing funding for the new shelter, because we don't receive any government funding at all. We receive fees for the services we provide, and we are contracted, as I was saying earlier, with the municipalities to provide animal care services to the community. So, but that only funds our day-to-day, but it's not enough to really fund those extraordinary projects like a big shelter. We're hoping that we can get that built as quickly as possible, but we understand it may take some time, and we may have to phase in we may have to take a phased in approach so that we can actually generate the funds that are needed for a facility. We're looking at probably about 28,000 square feet minimum. And yeah, it may take some time for us to develop that property, considering the amount of funding that would be required to make that happen. But we do have, as I was saying, really engaged people in our community who are really committed to seeing us look after our animals, and they're trying to provide whatever they can to help us with those animal care costs, because they are quite significant. There are quite a number of animals that come into us that are injured or sick. And then we featured a couple of them really recently. We've actually featured Indy, is the latest dog who arrived earlier this week, and she had the triple wallop of not just mange, but also she has Lyme disease, and she also has heartworm. So it really took a lot out of her. It's going to take months for her to recover. So with that kind of situation, we're really going to need support for her recovery.
Amelia, how much of an impact has social media had with adoptions, and also with the general public being able to help out with online donations and items for the shelters and stuff like that?
It's been tremendous, and we have actually put some resources toward that because it's so important, because that's the way that people can actually interact with us. And as you know, it's really taken off as a medium. So we absolutely rely on that very heavily, and we see hundreds of thousands of dollars each year come to us as a result of that activity. So we're really thankful to the community. We have over 30,000 followers now, and we're really grateful for their participation and their interest. They support us in so many ways. We also get a lot of volunteers through that channel. So, we have about 200 volunteers across all of the locations that I mentioned earlier. There are people who work in recovery
Impressive.
in our spay and neuter clinic. Absolutely. Can you imagine? There's no way we could ever do the
Do
work
this
of those
without the
200
vault.
volunteers. We could not afford to pay people to do the work that they do. They're walking dogs. They're doing enrichment with dogs. There's different sorts of play and activities that you can do with dogs besides just walking them. So it depends on their needs and the situation, even the weather. We're really grateful to them. We have people who spend time with our cats because they need socialization often too. So all of that is really crucial. And then of course our cat adoption center, I don't want to forget them. The volunteers are really running that center at the Seaway Mall, and that has been hugely successful to the point where we're going to be celebrating our 10,000th adoption out of that center sometime this summer. So we'll keep you posted. But
Congratulations
that's
and
absolutely
congratulations.
huge. Yeah, it's
Congratulations
amazing.
and volunteering's been a big part of my life. I was with the Guelph Humane Society for 9 years, and now I've been with the Cambridge Humane Society for a couple years. And my mom volunteered with the cats at the Guelph shelter for 10 years as well. They just got a new shelter here as well, and that's a big thing too nowadays. There's so much more demand across Ontario for humane
Hmm.
societies than there were back in the 50s and 60s and 70s now,
Yeah.
and now everybody basically needs a bigger facility to service all of these animals that are out, cats and dogs and bunny rabbits and chickens and etc.
Absolutely. And there are about 15 of us who are independently run humane societies across Ontario. And the 15 of us have joined together to form a network called the Ontario Animal Welfare Network. Guelph is part of that. So absolutely, I think it's really important to support and get involved with your local humane society. And as I say, we all operate independently of each other, but we all are in it together. We're all on the same mission to help animals. And so, yeah, absolutely. I applaud your efforts as a volunteer to support the Guelph Humane Society. We've actually been there too to look at their location. They have a beautiful new shelter that they, well deserve. And we've taken a lot of notes from that, and they've shared their experience with that so that we can always be making improvements on how we design those to better meet the needs of dogs and cats, and they also see livestock as well. And they have a great facility for that too. So we've learned a lot from spending time with them and also with our other colleagues across Ontario as part of that Ontario Animal Welfare Network. So we're glad to be part of that, and I think it's really important for people to know that we do really work together and want to make sure that people are aware of the opportunities to really get involved, serve, and support them. We also have our colleagues here in the Niagara region, the Greater Niagara Humane Society. They operate independently from us in St. Catharines, and they have 4 different municipalities that they serve as well. So they serve sort of the north end, and we kind of look after the south. But it's really important to know that we're all really working together to make sure that our animals in our communities are well looked after.
Amelia, for people that are watching the show right now, live stream or later on audio, and they're in
Mhm.
the Niagara area and they're interested in helping out as a volunteer, what's the process like for somebody to become a volunteer with the Niagara SPCA?
The most important thing is to go to our website, niagaraspca.com. There is an application available online, and they can also, so there are a couple of different ones actually. I want to mention that there's the volunteer application online for any sort of volunteer role, and you could also inquire and find out about, if you want to be a volunteer at the Cat Adoption Center, you can actually stop into the Adoption Center and pick up an application there, just like you can go to any of the shelters and also get an application as a volunteer. But there are lots of different roles, and as I was saying, even getting involved with the clinic, we do need people in the recovery unit as animals come out of sedation to facilitate that process. So lots of different roles that can be fulfilled there. And then we also have events coming up too. So we'll need volunteers for this Rock for Paws coming up shortly. And we'll be looking for volunteers to help with the setup and the teardown, and maybe even monitoring a couple of the stations. We're going to have some gift baskets and whatnot people can bid on. And we also have the other one that's coming up is that we have the Vansicle, the Pet Value Vansicle event. So Pet Value has been amazing to us. They've been helping us get some visibility for our animals by letting us host or they host us rather at their locations in Lundy's Lane, at Van Sickle and St. Catharines, and actually we'll be joined by our colleagues at Greater Niagara as well. So we'll both be there at that location and featuring adoptable dogs at the Pet Value. So that's been really wonderful because it does give them more exposure. And then, of course, VCA Charities has got us up to speed with a brand new program called Paws on the Town, where people can take a dog out for the day. And the idea is that we've been chosen as one of 4 locations across Canada to be one of the included in this program. And our animal care manager, Tammy Gabery, went to Phoenix to learn all about that program to the Arizona Humane Society. And she's come back with that knowledge and that experience. And now that's available too online, where you can decide if you'd like to take a dog out for the day and go to maybe a more touristy location. The exposure is great, but also the ability for them to get out of the shelter and experience life and fun outside of that shelter environment, something new and different. It helps with their socialization. It helps with building some skills with them, because often a lot of them haven't had those opportunities, and we want to make sure that they get that chance to get out and also be visible. We know that they're 5 times more likely to be adopted if they have that visibility, if more people see them. So we have a lot of opportunities like that. And as I say, if you go online to niagaraspca.com, you'll see application forms there and the different opportunities that are available for people to get involved.
Do you guys have a fostering program too? Because I know when I used to be in Guelph, they had it. Cambridge, I don't think has it right now, but I think fostering is really important too, because some animals don't do well in a shelter life, and fostering can actually really make an impact and get those dogs and cats adopted a little
You
bit
are
sooner.
spot on. Yeah, sorry, you are spot on. Absolutely. There are quite a number of them that come in, they're very scared. And the noise levels and whatnot in the shelter, the number of animals around them, I kind of compare it sometimes to being in university first year in a dorm.
Yes.
Some people are just not cut out for that kind of communal living. And in some cases, they've just been traumatized and they need some quiet time. So I have seen some incredible transformations happen as a result of people taking dogs home and fostering them. I think about Sky, who is an adoptable dog as well, made huge, huge strides, was very afraid of people, and now has really, really come out of her shell. But there are plenty of stories like that. And often, too, when we get small litters of very small cats that need to be bottle fed, for instance, we need fosters for that, too, because they need to be fed around the clock. And often a lot of our staff take them home, but then they have to come in first thing in the morning still too, after being up all night with them, kind of like having a newborn. So if we have fosters available to do those jobs for us, it is unbelievable. And we do have usually about 10 to 15 fosters, but we do need to give people a break because sometimes these fosters can take months, or they are available for months to take on animals, but and sometimes around this time of year in particular, we start to see those litters come in. We start to see those numbers of, dogs and cats really, really dramatically increase right around now. So yeah, definitely. So thank you for flagging that one.
Wanted to also ask you this too. What's the process like for someone to become a foster? All with you guys, with the Niagara SPCA, the process of that.
Yeah, so if anybody is interested, absolutely. So it starts with the application process, but then there will be some conversations with you just to, see if you are aware of all the needs of the animals and even to figure out what type of animal might be suitable for you. And then there's some training, of course, required because, depending on what the needs are and what you're able to take on. We do have people who are really experienced, and then we have people who are newer. And the experienced ones or staff can help bring you up to speed with what might be needed. And often we just start out with something a little more straightforward. And then as you may feel more comfortable, if you wanted to take on something a little bit more complex, then we can work you into that process as well. And we also do provide, of course, the food that's required, and any of the supplies are typically provided from us. So you would be receiving food and supplies from us throughout the time that you're a foster.
Amelia, what's the adoption process? And can you just tell our audience a little bit about that, the adoption process,
Yeah,
and what people have to, and how you guys have to make sure the pets go into the, it has to be a good fit for the pet, but also for
yeah.
the family too.
Absolutely. So there are, I would say, a number of different stages that we really want people to work through. So it does start with an application form, which gives us an opportunity to really determine which dog or cat might be suitable for you. And then you would come in and have a meet and greet. So we would bring the dog out, and you'd be able to spend some time in the yard, for instance, and get a sense of, is this the right dog or cat for you? And then the other opportunity that we offer is you could bring your children or your own pet on site. We also offer the opportunity for dogs to go home for an overnight stay and possibly even a weekend, just to, again, see how they adapt to the environment and to other animals or children, people that are in the home. And in some cases, we may be looking for a situation where there isn't another animal. So some dogs do better without other dogs or without cats, for instance. So we may also be looking for someone with that sort of home environment that's more appropriate for the animal. And then, of course, the energy level. If you're looking for a high energy dog or cat, or you're looking for something more medium to low. So we'll be looking to match that too, just to make sure that it's a successful adoption. And then I'm also going to say too, we've just started doing dog training and behavior therapy sessions as well. So those can be done in groups or they can be done one-on-one. So we do have a specialist who can take you on as a client and work through behavior issues or just help you train the dog, get them more accustomed sometimes to a leash. Some of the dogs who come to us haven't been on a leash very much. So the dog walking program tends to take on a huge share of that introduction for dogs. But some of that may be continued, and that may be something that you'd also go to dog training with. So we really try to look from start to finish for that perfect match.
Amelia, do you find nowadays in 2026 that there are more strays coming into shelters than ever before?
We are seeing increased numbers, and we're attributing that to a number of things, a number of situations. I think on the one part, for one point, we do have an increased population, right? They're building more homes, so there are more people coming into the area for sure. But we're also seeing affordability crisis. We hear about it a lot. The economy is such that people are really struggling to afford housing and food, the essentials. So when it comes down to it, people are often struggling then to look after their pets, and some as a result of that, people are abandoning animals, and we are bringing them into the shelter. They're being brought into the shelter as a result of that. So it's a number of different issues, but I think that affordability is a big one, and it could be anything from food, just the regular supplies, to veterinary care. So it could be the reason why a lot of the animals that come in are sick or injured, and people are just not able to afford the veterinary care that's required.
Currently, do you guys have a surrender fee? Like if somebody cannot look after an animal and they want to bring it into you guys, is there a fee?
There is typically a fee for that. So because there are costs associated with having the pet come in. So yes, we would do that.
What would you tell people? I guess obviously surrendering it to you or a rescue group, because I find in Cambridge now there's a lot of strays coming in too, and it's kind of really sad. And also you mentioned too the cost of everything keeps going up, including pet food as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
Do you
Yes.
guys? Sorry, I wanted to also ask you. I know some other shelters do, but I know every shelter is different. Do you guys
Mhm.
have a pet emergency fund for people in the Niagara area? A program like that?
At this point, we really don't have that. We tend to more do in-house care for pets as opposed to offer that. But what we do have is a brand new wellness clinic that we've opened up, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. And the idea there is that we offer veterinary exams, in particular, sort of that annual exam that we would want to perform on pets. And those are really designed to be very affordable at $60 for an examination, for instance. And you can go on to Niagara, SPCA.vet, to have a look at those fees and what we do in the clinic, what's available. But the idea is that if you are having your pet examined on an annual basis, and if you provide those vaccinations annually, you will be able to offset a lot of those serious illnesses that get really costly. So the sooner you can undertake those, undertake any care. So if they come in for an exam and we look at their eyes, ears, skin, do a thorough examination. We can also do some diagnostics here, some blood work and other lab work here and test to see what's going on with your pet and hopefully catch illnesses before they become major and before they become more costly. So that's really where we are focused right now, is making sure that we can provide that care. So we want to really encourage people to come in and get those examinations done. And again, the idea is that we provide it at a very affordable cost to encourage people to take this on annually, and it will save you money down the road.
Microchipping. What are your thoughts on microchipping your pets? Are they all done at the Niagara SPCA?
They all get done here. So any strays that might come in, we do microchip them. And the other thing too is we spay and neuter all the animals before they're adopted. So, that's something that we undertake as part of the regular work that we do. But definitely microchips are amazing. If you ever do lose your pet, that is one great way to be able to identify that animal as yours and to be able to get it back home to you. So absolutely 100%. And it's something that we do as part of our regular process, whether they're just coming in as spayed and neuter pets or if they're coming into our shelter. We're regularly doing these. We also offer mobile clinics throughout the year. So we'll be coming to somewhere near you with our mobile unit, our RV, and providing microchips, vaccinations, etc. During those mobile clinics.
Amelia, how did you end up at the Niagara SPCA Humane Society as their chief executive officer, and what does your role entail daily there?
Yeah, I feel like it's a box of chocolates here. You never know what you're going to get from one day to the next. There's nothing really routine about it. I would say it's kind of interesting how I wound up here. I think that quite a number of people now are looking for people with experience in running not-for-profit organizations, which is really what I bring. And really, we get everything from start to finish in terms of operations, staffing, community engagement, fundraising. And there's even property management because we actually own 3 buildings. So we're managing those properties and taking care of them. And it's all really fascinating work. It's all work that I've done and all of the different roles that I've been in throughout my career. So when I looked at this opportunity, I thought I can actually really help this organization because I do have such broad skills and experience. But I also am working with a fabulous team of people who have 20, 30 years of experience, 10 plus. People here have been here for quite a while and they're really great at what they do. And it's my job really to facilitate that and help them do their work, their great work. They're experts in animal care and in animal services, bylaw enforcement, and clinical care. So, I'm really here just to help them succeed in those roles and to make things facilitate their roles and make it easier for them to get things done, to get the work done and be able to work with animals. But on a daily basis, one of the first things I do, this is a 365, 24/7 job. And so there's always something going on. So we're all tied to our cell phones and checking regularly, and our cell phones are on, and we're taking calls. In particular, anybody who's working on the road and is working as an officer, anybody doing intake at the shelter, it has their phone on and they're answering calls at any time of the day or night. I tend to come in the morning and get updated mainly at that time and deal with whatever issues might have emerged. But then they continue to happen throughout the course of the day. Animals are constantly in need and there are always issues arising. So it's about being flexible. You kind of come in with your plan every day, but sometimes the plan goes out the window pretty quickly because we have to deal with whatever issues come our way as a result of something that's emerged over the course of the day or night involving animals. It's always urgent. And often they can be very complex cases, as I was saying earlier. And we need to make sure that we can deliver the care and just determine how best to do that as quickly as possible. So there's never a dull moment, and the day flies by. I'll get to 4 or 5 o'clock, and it really literally feels like 11 o'clock in the morning still. The day just goes by so quickly because we're really committed and very determined to make sure that we're delivering, for these animals, that we're actually reaching them and taking care of their needs, as best we can.
And my model has always been adopt, don't shop. I've always adopted animals since I was a
Yeah.
kid, cats and dogs. And people still have this stereotype that if you adopt from a shelter, the animals have behavioral issues, and that's not true. And
No.
it's bad owners is why it's bad owners, not the pets. And it's like raising kids. Having a dog, having a cat, it is a 24/7 commitment, and it is like having a child.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work.
absolutely. It is always right. You have to invest. And as I was saying, but for any animals that maybe were abandoned and traumatized, we do have someone here who can help with that and recommend different enrichment activities and just spend some time. And it's amazing, as I was saying, it's amazing how they recover, how quickly they recover, and just the difference. That's what really keeps, I think, everybody going. It's amazing to see that happen right in front of your eyes. So the transformations that we see here regularly, and then the adoption stories too. It just keeps you going. It just motivates you to keep on doing this work. So it's incredibly meaningful and fulfilling, and I'm so glad to be here.
Amelia, are you still good with time for a few more minutes, a few
Yeah,
more
sure,
questions? I'd
sure.
also would like to play. I'd like to play a video that Karen sent me. Either
Okay,
Karen or Emma sent me. I don't think
okay,
there's any. I don't think there's any volume to them, but it's a nice little video you guys did here about
sure.
some of the animals that are up for adoption, including
Yeah,
Sky, who, oh my God, I wish I could adopt her. I
beautiful
just wish,
dog.
beautiful dog. So I'm just gonna play the little
Oh,
video clip right now.
sure. Yeah.
And that's another thing too, social media content create. Do you guys have a full-time content creator too?
We do. Actually, a lot of what we do is outsourced or contracted. We don't have the ability to really bring people in full time ongoing. And in too many instances, our animal care workers are full time, or they're ongoing part time, I should say, and our officers are full time ongoing. But a lot of the other services are really contracted, but they're doing a fantastic job for us. We're really pleased with Finnerty for doing this great work. And of course, Robin Dimitro is our Director of Development and Communications, and she does a fantastic job of providing guidance and all of the planning for this. So it makes a big difference to an organization to be able to have these resources. So we're delighted to have them because at the end of the day, they really do improve our adoption rates because our dogs and cats belong in people's homes and not in a shelter. So the quicker we can do that, we can make that happen, the better. So it's been a really great investment for the organization, and Finnerty actually donates some of their time too every month. So we're really appreciative to them. They're really making a difference, and I think everybody can see, anybody who's involved with this organization can see the kind of impact they're having. It's outstanding, and as I say, that's what keeps us all going. At the end of the day, is we see some pretty tragic things every day, as animals come in and they're really sick, like Indy. But when you see, the outcome, the transformation, it really makes it worthwhile. So yeah, these are great success stories. I love seeing these adoptable animals. It's pretty incredible. And as I say, we have really been able to adopt out animals more quickly as a result. And Paws of the Town is going to have a tremendous impact too for us. We know that. So we're glad to be part of that program now too. Yeah, those were our Persians. They're getting ready for adoption now as well. There were 8 of them that came
I'm
in. Yeah, they were,
pineapple.
really
Wow,
badly. Yeah, pineapple, sweet dog. Yeah,
Dozer.
Yeah.
Wow.
These are great dogs. They're great dogs. Really. And you get to meet them. Come on in, you can meet the dogs, take them out for the day. Paws on the Town is really popular. So it does get booked up, but, we'll find a time. It may take a little while, but we'll find a time for you to get out with them if that's what you want to do. Or just, come on out and, you know, spend some time with them and see if it's a good match for you. But our staff are really, really great at matching people with the right dog or cat. Tammy's a genius that way in many ways, but Tammy Gabery, our manager of animal care, is amazing at matching people up, but so are a whole bunch of our staff. Yeah, there's Kramer,
Amel-
and there's Dr. Raj doing an examination. So yeah,
Amelia, I wanted to get your opinion on this from your
yes.
perspective, running a
Hmm.
shelter. Do you
Hmm.
find the laws are not? Would you like to see the government laws be a little more strict for animal abuse and cruelty? Because and you guys
Yeah.
sometimes have to deal with those cases. I know you can't
Hmm.
speak about that, but I just wanted to get your thoughts
Hmm.
on that.
I don't want to seem critical at all because I can appreciate how difficult it is for the government uh, to tighten up these laws because you also want to make sure they're fair for both sides and that we're giving everybody a fair chance to tell their side of the story. There's no question. But at the end of the day, and particularly as a member of this Ontario Animal Welfare Network, and we also work with Humane Canada, we absolutely do want to advocate for tougher laws for sure to make sure that our animals are safe and to deal with any issues of abuse. Now, we do have PAWS, so the province established the Provincial Animal Welfare Services in 2019. So we used to
Okay.
do inspections. Yeah, we used to do those investigations of cruelty and neglect, but we don't any longer. So that is now the job of the Provincial Animal Welfare Services team. So that's what they take care of. But yeah, absolutely, we still do end up with animals at our shelter, and sometimes PAWS does end up getting involved, but there are cases for sure of neglect that we see and that we'd really love to not be seeing. But as long as these things keep happening, we want to make sure that we're doing all we can to protect animals. There's no doubt about it.
Can you just mention, Amelia, a little bit about your animal officers too, and the jobs they have to do?
It's not an easy job to be an animal services officer or an animal care worker. In both cases, it's really pretty difficult. I kind of compare them in a lot of ways to paramedics because they're first on the scene, they're not sure exactly what they're going to see, and some of the animals are in really bad shape. So they bring them back to the shelter and we look after them. So on intake at the shelter, our animal care workers are then seeing these issues and they're the ones who are going to be working with them, day after day until they're recovered, and they're going to be dealing with treatments. We also have registered vet technicians, one at each shelter, and they're working with them in terms of the veterinary care. And Dr. Raj goes to the shelters every week, at least once a week, to go see animals there that need his examination. And shelter animals are brought to the clinic for spay and neutering once a week as well too. So it is a tough job. They're also enforcing bylaws that the municipalities have. So those are municipal bylaws that they're enforcing. So it's really subcontracted to us to do. So they're issuing fines in some cases and ensuring that, again, the laws are being followed. So we do those jobs as well. So, and they're on the road all day. They could be going anywhere from Haldeman to Niagara Falls. There's a lot of driving involved, and we're very busy between picking up, as I was saying, going and going and looking at animals, and responding to calls for care, and also dealing with bylaw follow-ups and issues. So it is not an easy job, and they're very, very busy, especially at this time of year.
Amelia, I'm hoping this summer to get back to Niagara Falls. I would love to be able to come to one of your shelters and just have a look around and see some of the pets you have down there,
For
and maybe
sure.
make a little donation too. Because if I had, I wish I could. I would help out with every single shelter in Ontario
Yeah.
because everybody does. You guys
Yeah.
do great work down there, and I always tell
Oh, thank
people
you.
adopt, but don't shop.
Yeah. No, I'd love to have you come down. We'd love to see you and meet you face to face. And And any adoptable dog that we have is on niagaraspca.com. So you can go online and see who's available for adoption there too, and cats. We also have small animals. We have rabbits and hamsters sometimes, guinea pigs, but I think mostly rabbits right now. So just have a look on the website and you can see who's there and who's ready to be adopted.
If somebody's interested in adopting a pet, can they come to the shelter and just look and talk to you guys, or does it have to be by appointment? I know back here a few years ago it was done by appointment
Yeah,
because of COVID, so I'm not sure
yeah.
how you guys do it.
Well, I would recommend probably phoning, like if there's a specific dog that you're interested in, I think that's a good idea, and looking at the application form. But you can come in and ask about seeing dogs as well, and they'll bring them out, or they may be walking them, and you may be able to have a look that way too.
Amelia, can you just tell us about some of your upcoming events with the Niagara SPCA and Humane Society?
Yes, and I wish I had these right at my fingertips, but we do have, in terms of exact dates, maybe I'll have to get back to you on that. But we do have the Pet Value Adoption event next weekend, so Father's Day weekend, and that'll be on the Saturday at the Van Sickle location in St. Catharines. And then we have Rock for Paws coming up, and I want to say it's the last weekend in July, but I'll have to double check and make sure that I've got that right. And then there are a couple of other events coming up. There's a music festival, a Misty River music festival is coming up as well. And that's more where we're invited to participate. And we're also looking to get to a number of the different fairs and whatnot, and, Pelham, for instance. So we do have a couple of things coming up, but I'll have to get back to you with specific dates. But look out for Rock for Paws.
Because I would like to try to attend one of these events.
That would be great. We'd love to see you there.
How can people who are watching this show on live streaming and audio, how can they help out with donations and getting involved with the Niagara SPCA and Humane Society?
Yeah. I would really point you to the website if you could get there, and niagaraspca.com. You'll see what's happening in terms of volunteer opportunities. We have a description of what's going on with Paws on the Town. You can see how to make a donation as well. So there's a tab to click there. And just about any information that you want will be on our website, or niagaraspca.vet for the clinic, which will let you see what's available in terms of those wellness clinic visits and the care that you can receive there. So yeah, I would point you there for sure.
What's your biggest needs right now?
Oh yeah.
Biggest need.
Yeah, well, definitely we're seeing some expenses as far as some very sick animals. So there's definitely that. Fosters, as you pointed out, is always an important role that we need fulfilled. And volunteering as a dog walker, or even if you're not maybe able to walk, but maybe could do some enrichment with dogs, that's good. And cat cuddlers, so people going into those cat community rooms and working with the cats just to make sure they're getting some socialization. You might want to volunteer at the Cat Adoption Center in the mall. All of those would be really great. Just anything to help us move animals into adoptions as quickly as we can. And then, of course, funding. So being a monthly donor is a really great way to support the organization. And even $10 a month would be so helpful to us. Those are great donors of ours. We've seen a real increase in those lately, but just any support would be really valuable because we do have a lot of costs associated with these animals that are coming in, like Indy, that are very sick, and like Lucy and Ethel that are starting to recover now from their mange. But they've tested positive for heartworm now too. So they're going to be a few months in recovery. So we're going to be feeding them and looking after them for several months in the shelter. So that does add up.
Do you guys have an Amazon wish list through your website? And do you have merchandise if people want to buy a hat or a t-shirt to support your shelter?
We are just starting to order some merchandise, to be honest. I think our supplies are pretty low right now, but you could probably, I have a hat here and a t-shirt, but we've got to load up again. And so keep an eye out for those. They're available on the website typically too. And I'm just thinking sorry, there was another question.
Amazon wish list?
Amazon wish list. So we updated that at Christmas, but I'm going to have to check and see whether or not we've got that updated for right now. Typically, like I know we've put out a request this week for treats. So that has, because we're doing a lot of work, as I was saying, with training and whatnot. So those treats are really, really great in terms of assisting with training. So that's a need right now. But I would say just overall support in general, financial in particular, because of, as I was saying, those costs. And we know we're going to be seeing our volumes really increase. We already are with those litters coming in. So anybody who can help as a foster or a volunteer would be that would be a really huge help.
If somebody has pet food at home, would they be encouraged to bring it into the Niagara SPCA Humane Society?
If it's closed, so if it's still sealed and whatnot,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes, we're always accepting food. And sometimes people come to us looking for food, and we also supply it. So if someone's really in need and they can't afford food, we will support them with that as well. They can come to the shelter.
As we wrap up the show, Amelia, what's a fun fact about the Niagara SPCA Humane Society? And do you guys sometimes get mixed up with the one over in New York State?
Oh, yes, we do. Not as much. I'm not seeing it as much as I did when I first started last year, but we do sometimes. Like we do a little bit of a double take. It's like, wait, that person doesn't look familiar. The dogs don't look familiar, and then we realize it's actually them. So yeah, there is that. But I'm sorry, your other question.
A fun fact about the Niagara
A
SPCA.
fun fact.
A
Oh,
fun fact.
boy. Well, I guess I would say at maybe in the wintertime when we put out a call for blankets and towels, they literally filled our basement to the ceiling.
Wow.
Yeah, we actually had to say, okay, we're good. But
What
that's how responsive people are, and we received a lot of wonderful towels and blankets. We don't need any right now. We were good for a while, but the response is amazing.
what makes the Niagara region such a great place to work and live in?
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful here. I think the water, the nature, the trails, but I would say the people. So there are a lot of big city amenities and things to do that, like just the fact that we have theaters and art galleries and we have the OLG, for instance, stage and whatnot, all of that, and the Shaw Festival. There's so much to see and do for a population this size. I think there's way more than you would typically see in a population this size. And it's just because, we're a tourist destination. But as someone who's only lived here for less than 3 years, I really appreciate it because it is so scenic and because of like the vineyards, the diversity of options is stunning. So it's an amazing place. But people are really incredibly nice as well. People will greet you on the sidewalk. If you're out for a walk, people say hi, they make eye contact. It feels pretty safe here, I think, relatively speaking. Yeah, I think everybody should always be, watchful and mindful of their environment. But generally speaking, I think people are very engaged in the community. They're very supportive of us. It's a really wonderful place to be. It's been great living here.
And what do you enjoy the most about being a CEO of the Niagara SPCA and Humane Society? What's the biggest thing that you really love about your job?
I work with amazing people, first of all, who are incredibly talented at what they do and who care tremendously about what they do. And they're really good at it. But also, like I was saying earlier, that transformation. Every time I see, like Lucy and Ethel, the before and after pictures, and they aren't even fully recovered yet. I mean, that is what really keeps me going every day. And the adoption stories, like just seeing dogs that maybe have been in here for 6 months or more and they've been struggling with illness and just weren't getting adopted for whatever reasons. Then they finally find the right home and off they go. Those are the two most amazing things of all, for sure.
And finally, Amelia, Where can our audience again follow the Niagara SPCA, the Humane Society on social media, the website, and the best way of contacting the shelter by email or phone number?
Yeah. So we've had a ton of problems with our phones lately, unfortunately. So I would
Okay.
really encourage people, yeah, we're getting them sorted out. We're just going to go with the new system, unfortunately. But yeah, so I guess I would apologize to anybody who's tried to reach us by phone and really struggled with that. I would recommend definitely email right now, and you can actually email. The addresses are on the website for each of the shelters. You can actually email each shelter directly, the one that is closest to you. So I would definitely encourage that.
Well, Amelia, I want to say thank you so much for coming on here today. And I would like to get back to Niagara Falls this summer
That'd be
and
great.
actually pop by one of your shelters to see some of the pets down there. And I would like to kind of help out with a donation as well. And I just really
Oh,
love the
thank
work
you.
that you're doing down there. It's really important for people to adopt or foster. And these pets are really our babies, fur babies.
Yeah, they really are. Even if some of them weigh 100 pounds, they're still our fur babies.
Well, Amelia, continued success with the Niagara SPCA, and you have an open invite to come back on my show again in the future if you'd like to promote
Oh,
some
great.
more of your upcoming events. And I would like to try to attend one this summer as well.
Okay, well, I'll send you that information.
Deal. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to Karen Wong for arranging this as well. So thank you. Big shout to Karen. And I think it was Emily or Emma or Emily, I
Yeah.
think, that sent me the video that we used today, too.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Thanks for letting me come on the show and tell our story and what's happening with us. Thank you.
And thank you for your patience with my audio mishap.
You're welcome.
So we got
No
through it. So
problem.
thank you so much. You take care, and we'll talk to you soon. And thank you so much. And I can send Karen the full video, the audio, and some reels and clips. And I will make sure I tag in the Niagara SPCA, the Canadian
Okay,
side
great.
too. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Amelia.
Chris.
You too.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Thank you.
You too. Bye now.
Bye. All right, everyone, that wraps up season 14, episode 5, overall 720 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. I want to say thank you to my guest today, Amelia Canto, the Chief Executive Operating Officer for the Niagara SPCA and Humane Society. So please check out the Niagara SPCA website, and I have it on my ticker as well. Before we wrap up the show, guys, I have another announcement to make here today. Companions for Change, a PAW event, is happening at the Pet Value location this weekend at 10:05 Paisley Road in Guelph. This weekend on Saturday, June 13th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, June 24th, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., celebrating Pet Appreciation Month and the charities that care for the animals that are less fortunate. There will be face painting, photo booth, kittens to hold, dogs and puppies to hold, and much, much more. A small monetary donation is welcome. You can call the Pet Value Store, the Paisley Road location at 519-821 519-821 5171. 519-821-5171, or email them at guelphpetvalue@gmail.com. And again, I made a boo-boo there. The Companions for Change PAW event is going to be this weekend at the Pet Value at 10:05 Paisley Road, both on Saturday, June 13th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, June 14th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. So Saturday, June 13th, 10 to 5, Sunday, June 14th from 11 to 5. Again, they're celebrating Pet Appreciation Month and the charities that care for the animals that are less fortunate. And again, bring the kids and the family with you. They will be doing face painting, photo booth, kittens to hold, dogs and pups to hold, and much, much more. And again, a small monetary donation is welcome. Again, you can reach Pet Value at 10:05 Paisley Road at 519-821-5171, or you can email them at Guelph West Pet Value at gmail.com. That's Guelph West Pet Value at gmail.com. So please, if you're in the Guelph area and you want to support Pet Value and this paw event, please check them out this Saturday, June 13th. and Sunday, June 14th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And again, please celebrate Pet Appreciation Month. And also remember, don't shop, but adopt. And at the Cambridge District Humane Society, where I volunteer, you can't buy happiness, but you can adopt it as well. And speaking of the Cambridge District Humane Society, if you're looking to adopt a pet, please go to the Cambridge District Humane Society. They're located at 1650 Dunbar Road here in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or visit their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. All the pets that are up for adoption, their profiles and pictures and information are on there as well. And your best bet, if you're interested in one of them, is to call 519-623-7722, extension 0. Ask for Kat or Michelle. Who are in adoption as well. And they do a wonderful job in getting our furry friends adopted into wonderful homes and families as well. So if you're looking to adopt a pet, please consider the Cambridge District Humane Society, located right across from the Cambridge Centre Mall at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. And again, their website is cambridgehumanesociety.org. As we wrap up the show, guys, right now, at Barry Cullen Chevrolet, a health check for change. Please help support your local children's hospital with an EV all-electric vehicle health check for change package. For every package purchased, $10 will directly be donated to your children's hospital. More details at barrycullen.com, or please drop by their location at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. So again, if you have all-electric vehicle, or they call them EVs, and you want to get an EV health check done at Barry Cullen Chevrolet right now, for every package purchased, $10 will again be directly donated to your children's hospital. More details at barrycullen.com. And again, Barry Cullen Chevrolet is a proud sponsor and advertiser of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. As we wrap up the show, guys, if you'd like a personalized video message from yours truly, CDP, go to cameo.com, type in Chris Palme. I do happy birthday, happy Hanukkah, happy anniversary, happy whatever, congratulations within reason. So if you'd like a personalized video message from yours truly, CDP, cameo.com/Chris Palme. You can also follow me on Blue Sky Social. Blue Sky Social is what Twitter X used to be like. At Live with CDP19 at Blue Sky Social. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again, is live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram, and hopefully one of these days on TikTok. You can also check out my website at beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme. You can also follow this full-time content creator on TikTok. Yes, I am on TikTok, at Chris Palme on TikTok. Follow, like, and share, and I post a lot of content there on TikTok. And please check out some of my latest media interviews with Demetrius Maxey and Sam Hicks from the Toronto Argonauts. StreamYard, again, is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. If you're into webinars, live streaming, podcasting, go to StreamYard.com. They have basic free plans, paid professional plans like I do. And if you're a business company that does a lot of webinars, go to StreamYard.com and contact our sales department for their business pricing. And yours truly has used StreamYard now for almost 6 years. I give them a big thumbs up. The audio version of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is available on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, Tuned In, YouTube Music, and Good Pods. And please subscribe, like, and share. And finally, guys, you can email Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show at cpalme19@gmail.com. Any comments, questions, suggestions would be greatly appreciated. And also, I am on paypal.com. If you really like my YouTube channel, my YouTube Shorts channel, and my media content and talk show, and you'd like to support my media work, I am on paypal.com. Go to paypal.com at Chris Palme if you'd like to support me at PayPal, or you can support me through a purchase of a personalized video message from yours truly on Cameo at Chris Palme. And finally, guys, you can follow me on Facebook, Threads, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, Blue Sky Social, everywhere except Snapchat. And also make sure you check out my YouTube channel, Chris Palme, Live with CDP Talk Show. Subscribe, like, and share. And please check out my YouTube shorts, as I have a lot of content there, and I have over 4,500 videos of content there now as well. And that is about it for today's show, guys. I am looking forward to my next show, which is going to be on the next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by BarryCullen.com. Is going to be on Monday, June 15th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern with my special guest. It's her first appearance. Her name is Denise Isaac. Denise Isaac. She's a freelance meteorologist, and she's going to talk to us about being freelance media and also being a meteorologist and dealing with weather. So I'm excited to have Denise Isaac on Monday, June 15th at 10:30 a.m. Denise Isaac, a freelance meteorologist from the States, will be our guest as well. And I have more shows coming next week as well. And I'm really excited about it. So again, I want to say thank you to Amelia Canto, again, the Chief Executive Officer with the Niagara SPCA and Humane Society there, for coming on today. And please check out their website and all their social media sites as well. And I will have that on my ticker as we leave this show. And we've got the World Cup of Soccer starting, and there's a game in Toronto tonight at BMO Field at 7 o'clock. And the Blue Jays are taking on the Yankees tonight at 7:37 at the Rogers Center. And the NBA Finals, Game 5, Spurs-Knicks. The Knicks are up 3-1. Will the Knicks win their first championship in 53 years tonight against the Spurs, or will the Spurs force a Game 6 in New York? I feel the Spurs will win tonight, and I feel they will at least get into a Game 6. I still think the Knicks are going to win the championship, but I think the Spurs are going to get one more game out of this. So I think this series will go to 6. And Carolina and Vegas, they are off until Game 6 in Vegas. Hurricanes won last night, so they're up 3-2 over Vegas, and they have a chance to win their second Stanley Cup championship in 20 years with a win against Vegas. And I believe that Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, I believe, is going to be on Sunday as well. And CFL, Winnipeg, Hamilton last night. Hamilton won 34-27 over Winnipeg. Hamilton won 37-27 over Winnipeg. Big win for the Cats. They're now 1-1, and Winnipeg drops to 1-1. And we got CFL action tonight. The Toronto Argonauts, playing their first game of the 2026 season, take on the Montreal Alouettes at 7:30. You can watch on TSN or listen to Mike Hogan and Ben Grant on TSN 1050. Their pregame show will start at 7 o'clock, kickoff 7:30. And Chad Kelly's first CFL game since the East Final of 2024, where he broke his leg. So it's going to be interesting to see how Chad Kelly does as well. So Argos, Alouettes tonight. And please check out the latest episode of the Argo Bells podcast show with Nick Small and myself. We recorded a new episode yesterday, and that's season 5, episode 3. Nick and I will talk about Argos and Alouettes and air a few interviews with Demetrius Maxey, their assistant head coach and defensive line coach, and running back Sam Hicks as well. So check out the Argo Bells podcast show as well, and enjoy the CFL action tonight with Toronto and Montreal. And then Saturday night, we have BC and Saskatchewan as well. So it's a great weekend for the NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, Major League Baseball, and the Canadian Football League as well. And I will be back at Argos practice next week at the University of Guelph to do a couple more interviews as well. Again, I want to say thank you to Amelia Canto, Chief Executive Officer from the Niagara SPCA, a Humane Society there, for coming on our show today. And I want to say thank you to the audience for watching this show on live stream, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Instagram. And also a big thank you to my audience. Big thank you to my listeners on my audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and wherever podcasts are available. I hope everybody has a great Friday night, great weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday, June 15th at 10:30 a.m. with Denise Isaac, a freelance meteorologist from the United States. Have a great weekend, everybody. And again, thank you to Barry Cullen Chevrolet for being a part of this show as well. Go Argos.